An absolutely kick-bottom laptop. Blackmagic speed editor. 2 screens that I've borrowed from work. Logitech MX2S mouse. And a cute picture of my kids, Tarquin and Jocasta. Do you need these to produce a DJI drone video? Or can you use this? It's an iPhone, by the way. After I released my hilarious video about how they fixed the DJI RC2 SD card issue, one of my subscribers, called Larry Mattox, sent me a message saying this: do you have any videos that show how to download videos that are saved to the SD card on your RC controller to an iPhone 13 Pro, which does not have the new C connector but the old Lightning connector? And I replied, hi Larry, sadly no, but it's pretty simple to do. There is a guide on the DJI website for this. And then I gave him the link, which takes us to here. Now, I mistakenly misread his comment, thinking he wanted to know how to download videos from the drone, not from the RC2 controller. But the DJI website does show you how to do it anyway. But I thought for this video, we'd go through how to create a small video that you can download directly from your drone onto your phone, edit, and then publish. No computer needed. Okay, so first thing you're going to need is a couple of apps from the App Store. Now, I'm using an Apple iPhone. On the Google Play Store, you'll be able to find these apps as well. So on your phone, go into the App Store and search up DJI Fly. And don't go for the one at the top of the screen. Go for DJI Fly, and you'll see there you've got the DJI Fly app. Don't worry too much about the slightly low score out of 5. It still works pretty much okay. So download that, and then go back to the App Store and look up Lightcut AI video editor. Again, don't take the first sponsored app that you've got there. Select Lightcut, and you can see that gives you a bit of a blurb about the app there. Download that and we're ready to go. Okay, so the next thing you need to do is with your DJI drone. I've got the Mini 4 Pro here, but this works equally as well with the Air 3 and with the Mini 3 Pro. Switch it on. You do not need your controller switched on to do this. There we go. Then back to the phone. So you'll see in my phone here, I've got a whole group called Drone Stuff. And I've got DJI Fly as my #1 app in there. So we're going horizontal here. And you can see I've gone into the app and it says here, switch to quick transfer mode, SJG M4P. Now that's what I've named my drone. So I click on switch and it's just connecting. Yes, we do want to join that network. And this does take a little bit of time sometimes, and I often find the first time it fails to connect. But don't worry, we'll just hit OK and we'll connect again. Join. There we go. So we can see we are connected to my Mini 4 Pro now. We've got 97 battery. Go into View Album. And you can see here we've got photos. I've got no photos on there. And we've got videos. So I've got a selection of videos here from a previous video that I've done. And what you can do is you can click on the checkbox here, and this is to batch select, as it says there at the top right. I'm going to select a handful here of these videos, and then down in the bottom right you've got a download arrow. Click on that, and that is now downloading. You can see at the top left there it says 1% downloading at the moment and 1 out of 4 files. Now you can see the transfer speed there as well, 31.2 megabits per second. That is pretty fast. But what I will do is I'll speed this up now, because otherwise it'll make for a very, very long and boring video. And I'm more about short and boring videos. Now, one thing you might need to be careful of whilst you're downloading from your drone is that it may have a tendency to overheat and it will shut itself down. If it does that, leave it for 10 minutes or so just to cool down, and then switch it back on again. You should be able to resume downloading from where you got to. That's not so much an issue on the Air 3, this big boy here, because it's got its own active cooling, so it's actually got a fan inside it. But the Mini 4 Pro and the Mini 3 Pro, because they're trying to keep that weight down under 250 grams, those don't have any active cooling in them. Just passive cooling, where the air is meant to pass through the drone and cool the electronics inside as it's flying. One thing a lot of people do is just stick a fan on and direct it at the drone whilst they're doing something like this. Alternately, if you're outside on a day like today where it's 6 degrees centigrade anyway, it's going to take a lot longer for the drone to actually heat up anyway. But don't worry if it does shut down. That overheat protection is there for a reason, so it will be shutting down way before any damage actually happens to the electronics. Okay, so that's all downloaded, so we can switch off our drone now. There we go. And then we can go into Lightcut. And there are loads and loads. We're not going to connect to my Pocket 3 because that's what I'm using to film this at the moment. Okay, so now we've got one tap edit. So if we click on one tap edit, and you can see here down the bottom, we've got 3 of the videos as well as my screen recording. And let's just click on those 3 videos. And it says select at least 5 clips. So I'm going to select a couple more just for demonstration purposes. So let's go with that. And we'll go with that. Then click on next. So now it's just analysing the files. This again takes a little bit of time to do depending on how many files you've selected and depending on how large those files are. Now, one thing to note is that you can mix in photographs with these videos as well, and Lightcut will integrate them into an AI generated video for you. Okay, so you can see it's created a 28-second video, and what it's done is taken all of the interesting parts out of those clips. So that you could have an hour's worth of clips. It's taken all the interesting parts out, so it's found 28 seconds worth for me. Now what you can do here is you can change the resolution of this. I'm going to change this to 1080p. I'm just going to have a look at this on my phone. I'll probably export to 4K later so that I can show the finished item on this video. Now we've got the 9:16. It defaults to the TikTok view for the TikTok generation. Personally, I prefer landscape, so I'm going to click on 16:9 and it's going to load that up. And so we've got that in 16:9 now. Now there are lots of things you can do with this. So you can change the template. There are lots of different templates here. So let's just load a different template in. Wow, that's cool. I might use that. Other things you can do in this app, you've got your editing feature, so you can replace various scenes that the app has chosen. You can change the music in the background. That's amazing. This is an amazing app. You can add stickers, text, so let's add a sticker here. New year, 2023, that's useful. 2024, let's add 2024. And add. Okay, so we've got that. Hit tick there. And filters. So you've got various different filters, all sorts. Aerial filters, retro filters, night filters, texture, nature. There is so much to go through in this app and fiddle with and play with. And what you can do is you can take what the AI has generated and you can tweak it to how you want it to run. But for the moment, I'm just going to leave it as it is. I'm going to export this as 4K and I'm going to show it to you here. Come back at the end for a really interesting fact. Okay, so I've switched this to 4K for you and now it's exporting. Once it's exported, it will end up in your photos and videos on your phone, and then from there you can share that on social media or AirPlay it to your TV. I'm quite a new YouTube channel and I'm almost at 500 subscribers. It would be brilliant if some of you could just hit that subscribe button as well as the like button and the notifications. That would really help me out, but it would also get this video out to a lot of other viewers that might need to see it. Thanks a lot. Video created just with a DJI drone and a phone, and I think it did a pretty good job. And that's just kind of out of the box settings as well. There's plenty of other stuff in that app to fiddle about with. Anyway, I promised you a fun fact at the end of this video, and here it is. This is a floppy disk. This is what we used to save data on back in the 80s. It can hold a maximum of 1.44 megabytes, whereas we have this, that's a 128 gigabyte SD card, a kind of middle of the range to low memory SD card. The fun fact is, if you took this and stacked the same again all the way up, so that had the same amount of memory as this, it would be about 3 times the height of Big Ben. Now, before anyone puts in the comments, I know that Big Ben is actually the bell, but it's just easier to say it. I might put this in at the end of all videos. It might help with retention, I don't know. It's a bit like Alan Partridge's fact of the day. I really should have worn a hat on that video shoot. It can hold a maximum of 1.44 gigabytes. It can hold a maximum of 1.44 megabytes.